Cafe! And now Sublime Music by Benny.
Good morning. Thank you for that wonderful interlude, Benny. I could sit here and listen to you play all day long. Yes. So good morning. I'm Joe Logan, here to welcome you to the Center for Spiritual Living Tacoma, those in person and those online. We are so glad you're here with us today. Our musicians today, Benny Yangco on the clarinet, our special musical guests, Lambert, Pete Beresford on percussion. Audio-visual team up in the crow's nest is Erik, Ronald, India Grace. Practitioners today are Mona Williams on platform, Suzan Blake holding high watch or consciousness in the back. Thanks to our greeters, Justin Arbenthaught. How'd I do? Close? Okay. And Angelina O'Connor, who met you with a smile as you came in the door, and to Sherry Gilliard and her helper, who are teaching and caring for our children. Thank you to Rose Palmer, Taylor Webb, who are with our teen group. Also, thank you to Ronald for coordinating our coffee service. Our speaker today is our very own Reverend Drew Ebersole. Please see your program announcements for important information about all the fantastic things happening here at CSL Tacoma. And folks joining us online, please visit our website, csltacoma.org, and explore the heading, What We're Up To. Practitioners will be at the back of the sanctuary after the service, holding a prayer circle. Please join them if you have a need for prayer. If you're new today and comfortable raising your hand, please do so we can say hello and give you a welcome packet. Welcome. We also invite you to join us after service for refreshments and authentic connections. Center for Spiritual Living Tacoma is a peaceful, loving, and joyful spiritual community connected through a shared set of values, principles, and practices. We awaken and embody an understanding of our oneness with Source and all of life. We are committed to individual transformation, healthy relationships, and being a beneficial presence in our community and the planet. Our vision is to create a world that is thriving in harmony. And your presence makes a positive difference, and you are most welcome here. And now, it's time for our minister's moment. Reverend Drew.
Everybody got a little coffee, a little snack? We had this up for a fundraiser last night. We did bingo. It was incredibly fun. All those in attendance, give a shout out. All right, that was really cool. And so we thought we'd try something. We're always up for trying new things, right? So we want to do this where you get to connect and share and talk and have a minute. And plus, lots of people say they want to take notes during the service. They can write right on the table this way. So this is kind of cool. But no, it's really fun. And I think Marge, where's Marge? She wanted to come up and talk about bingo last night because she had a blast. And it was super cool. And while she's coming up, I want to call out Tracy, Halleck, and George in the back for calling out the bingo numbers beautifully. Masterful. It was really fun to see her in her element, and it was a great energy. So tell us about it, Marge.
Well, let me tell you all about it. So I got to tell you, it was the very first time for me ever sitting down long enough to play bingo. Ever. And it was... I had a ball. I sat between Ken and Gloria. How much better could it get? We moaned the whole way through the evening because we didn't win anything. Anyway, and except for Ken, he finally did. I have to tell you, I believe we're going to think about doing bingo again in the spring. And I do hope that any of you will come because we had a whole table left where we could have used everybody. And I just can't tell you how much fun it was. It was fun to have the young kids here, and they were the ones that won a bulk of the money and the gift cards. Anyway, so I just really want to encourage everybody, come out this spring. There's no date set. This was the first time. And I'll be back because I'm going to win next time.
So it was a good time by everybody. Great spirits, great energy, and so we thought we'd keep the setup going today, and that's what it is. So after service today, there's something called a spirit walk with Reverend Matthew, and it's an incredible opportunity to go to Point Defiance and really put spirit into your awareness as you're moving through nature. And so that starts at 1 at Point Defiance. There's a parking lot ready to go in toward right around before you, just past the zoo area. There's a new parking lot apparently, and that's where everyone's going to meet. So if you have any questions, come see Leslie or come see Matthew. I think he'll be here this morning, and he can clarify for you. But a spirit walk, it's all about it. So on the 21st, there's some important things. We're doing a sound bath. I think that should be coming in a second. And that's Levon Hardison. If you've seen Levon, you know she's magic. She's great. Lawrence is magic. Levon is magic. We have these wonderful musicians who are magic. And she does this great sound bath where you sit and receive vibrational healing. And it's marvelous. So I invite you after service to stick around, and we're going to clear out the area here and let everyone just kind of be at peace for a little sound healing. And so I really invite you to that. Very much so. On Christmas Eve, we're having Lawrence again. And if you like him today, you also like him on Christmas Eve. I say love him today, love him on Christmas Eve. He and Pete and Jim Valley are going to be doing the service. It's a Vesper service, so we invite you to that. And it's a way to really connect to a sense of light in this dark season and connecting and loving one another, which is what it's all about. So that's really cool. There's a role play opportunity for a game called Dungeons and Dragons. And this is for often younger people, although raise your hand if you ever played Dungeons and Dragons while you were growing up. Okay, there's only 2 of us, okay. Well, right on time. You're my man right there. We got it. And it's really fun. It's an interactive, non-computerized analog game that you play with dice and imagination, and it's fabulous. And India Grace, up there in the booth, has the energy and the ability and the intelligence to run what's really called a gauntlet of opportunity. It's adventure. You become a hero character. You fight. You strive. You love. You create. And it's just a beautiful way to build community. So that's on the 20th in the evening at 5:30 right here. So if you got dice, bring them. If you got imagination, bring it. If you got curiosity, bring it. And role play your little hiney off and have a great time. So Also, I want to just remind for our new people, we do meditations here every Thursday. And lots of our folks in community, younger people, really want to find out what that is. So invite your neighbors and friends to come to meditation. It's a soft way to get introduced to a practice that is ancient and fundamental to finding peace and ease. Everybody just take a deep breath right now and let it out. Do you feel that, what that does to you? Imagine doing that contiguously for a period of time and the reset, the mental reset you get, the feeling of healing that you get, the feeling of connection you get, they grow and expand in a boundless fashion. And so that's meditation. Also, Artist Way, you're seeing little signs for it around here. Justin Arbuthnot, which I think I said correctly that time, he's teaching Artist Way, and he does a great job. And if you're curious about that, go see Justin, because it's a wonderful way to connect with your inner artist and what you want to create. And it's a fabulous program, and he's a fabulous teacher. He does a great job. Okay, I think that's all the important announcements. Yes, Ty.
Shout out to Tacoma Tidy Up.
Oh, Tacoma Tidy Up. Yesterday, they went and tidied up. Jerry, do you want to come and say just a word about it? Or do you just want to, what do you want to do?
You can go ahead.
So Jerry does a great job of connecting with a section of road and area in Tacoma that we get to claim as Center for Spiritual Living, and they cleaned up beautifully yesterday and spread the word by caring for our community. So Jerry and all the people from Tacoma Tidy Up. And we want to also make a connection to our bigger spiritual organization, which is Centers for Spiritual Living. And we just happen to have the newly elected executive director. And he was acting, but now it's official. And Ty Minkler. Okay. So Ty is brilliant, and Justin is also on the leadership council for that International Center for Spiritual Living. He does a great job. So here's what's really cool. Did you know that Tacoma is becoming an epicenter for a global movement in what we're doing? We are holding so much love and power and enthusiasm, but also guidance and examples, role modeling for what this looks like. And Ty is helping to lead that way, and we are feeding with him, through him, an idea of expanding this from 40,000 to 400,000 to 4 million to 40 million to 400 million. That's what we're growing into. This is just the beginning. You ain't seen nothing yet. And we know that, and Ty knows that, and Justin knows that, and each of you who are authors and writers and creators, bring your energy, bring your love right here, because from here it's a launching pad, and we can rocket ship anywhere we want to. This is our jet fuel, is love, and the rocket ship is the mechanism by which we get to the stars. So just know and feel that you're part of something special by being here, each and every one of you. So thank you for doing that. All right. Yes! This is Ken. He is our wonderful treasurer and an amazing guy. And he said this is a good segue into the pledge drive. So we've been having little testimonials of people that have had some sorts of experiences that are transformational. And I want to introduce Billy Thomas. He's a wonderful young member of our church, and he does great work, and he's had amazing experiences here. And so I want to invite to the stage Billy. Come on up, Billy.
Well, I've never been up here with the microphone before, so that's new. And I'm still trying to figure out how I'm classified as young, but... So I just wanted to kind of give you a little bit of my story. So I've only been here, it hasn't even been a year yet, so my first day walking through those doors was February 18th of last year. I came in because there was a recovery Dharma program here, and I have a history of that. So AA, NA never worked for me, but there was this Buddhist program that said they could help, so I came here for that originally. So the reason I think pledging here is so important is because I'm the recipient of being able to take the advanced consciousness class currently. We just finished our first term, so I'm excited that I made it through that. So I was going to tell you just a little bit about what I've learned through that course. I've learned that all of this is not BS. It's actual factual. Like, it actually works. So we dove into spiritual mind treatments, which praying is not something for me. I've never really done it. Wasn't one of those kids at the bed at night, yada, yada. So learning how to do that was enriching. It was an experience. I had a prayer partner, who was Ken, who said the most wonderful things to me. And I'm going to tell you, when you start hearing people tell you wonderful things about yourself, they kind of sink in.
Like young.
Maybe. Well, I'm younger than you, so that's okay. So throughout this course, we were doing a lot of praying, and I was doing a lot of praying, and I'm going to give you some dates, but I'm going to do this quickly. I decided 3 weeks into the course that I was going to quit my job. I didn't have any sources of income. I didn't have any money in the bank. I was I probably should have stuck with my job, but I didn't, and I quit. And we started to pray for it because we had to pray every week. And my grandma passed away November of last year, and that's kind of the catalyst that pushed me towards seeking something. So on her birthday this year, I got an email asking if I wanted to do a job interview. So I was like, hell yeah, I'm broke. So November 3rd, which was the day that she went into the hospital a year ago for the very last time, was the interview. It went really well. I thought, Grandma, help me out here. Well, the next day I got an email for the second interview. It was scheduled for the day she died. Wow, there's Grandma again. Maybe there is something to this oneness scenario. Last Monday was my first day at that new job. It was also the 1-year anniversary of her funeral. So it's now a wonderful day that I get to remember starting a new career, and it's also a day I can remember that I'm still one with Grandma even though I can't see her. And that's something that I learned through here, because there's that oneness conversation we all have. And trust me, there's a lot of folks I don't want to be one with. I'm still working on that part. But the one thing that I will say that I've gathered from this location, from this place, and just being in here, because I had a lot of religious trauma prior to this, which I'm assuming a lot of folks probably have. I found faith, I found hope, and I found community. So now that I'm employed again, I will be renewing my pledging. And so just think about it, because it's a great cause, and it's helped me multiple ways. So that's all I got.
Oh, beautiful. And Ken has reminded me to be able to speak to why pledging and why increase it. It's reciprocity. What you give, you get back. And we want to grow this. When we say we're the epicenter, that's not light talk. That's real. So imagine us expanding out and new building and new opportunities so that all of Tacoma gets the opportunity to experience what a safe, loving, valuable community is all about. What real connections are all about. That's the antidote to isolation and division and hatred right there. We connect and bond so tightly that we cannot be pulled apart. We are infinite in that. So your pledging makes a difference for that. So do what you can and feel comfortable of, and making an effort to realize this dream. And it will come back to you manifold, as Billy has already explained. It all came back to him, so that's lovely. Okay, gratitudes. There are little peace doves in the back in your entryway. I don't know if you saw this, but check them out. And Sharon can tell you where those peace doves are. They're in that basket. And it's a way to saying, I found peace with, or I am peaceful with, and write that up there. So it's really neat to read them all. And take a second to read them when you come in and out. And also gratitudes, which should be in front of you. You can write some, now that you have a table, you can write on the gratitude. That's really easy right there. And then we read them each week to get a chance to experience it together. So take a second and lay into these gratitudes. Feel them for yourself, okay? new pavement and light rail, renewing the city. Finding the courage to stand witness as my father took his last breath. I love him as he is. My beautiful daughter and the gifts of her love. Blessings. Gratitude to Maria Corina Machado and the bravery she is demonstrating in standing up for democracy and winning the Nobel Prize. Sir Hugs-a-Lot, AKA Reverend Drew. At your service. A growing CSL community. We are welcome here, and that is all divinely perfect. Surprise and wonder, the gifts of new opportunities and experiences. That lets me expand into the beyond and beyond my wildest dreams. Mindful neighbors who show up in abundance when the need arises. I feel completely supported. The community that is CSL Tacoma and the authentic connections and acceptance here. The spiritual principle of oneness and the practice of meditation. Celebrating my birthday wishes. My life is abundant, healthy, and continually getting better. And our center's blessings of love, peace, and joy. CSL supports abundance and abundance thinking in reciprocity. In my healing journey and the kind people of this community, thank you, thank you, thank you. So now let's have the treat of some glorious music as we settle into this moment and take our own spiritual journey.
Good morning. Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day. It's a new life for me. It's a new dawn, it's a new day. New life for me. Ooh, and I'm feeling good. You can sing along. Feeling good. How you feeling? Stars in the sky, you know how I feel. Scent of the pine, you know how I feel. Freedom is mine, and I know how it feels. A new dawn, a new day, a new life for me. Feeling good. That's your part. Feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Freedom is mine, and I know how it feels. New dawn, a new day, a new life for me. Feeling good. How you feeling? Feeling good. Dragons fly out in the sun, you know how I feel. Butterflies all having fun, you know how I feel. To sleep in peace when the day is done. And this old world is a new world, is a bold world for me. Feeling good, feeling Thank you.
That is spirit. We are feeling good. To anybody who wasn't feeling good today, online, out of this building or in this building, take that energy in and allow it to heal. That is spirit. I have a couple of quotes today. We're talking about the garden. From Barbara Kingsolver. I have seen women looking at jewelry ads with a misty eye and one hand resting on the heart. And I only know what they are feeling because that's how I read the seed catalog in January. So this one from Og Mandino. Always do your best. What you plant now, you will harvest later. And from Adolfo Perez Esquivel. We know we cannot plant seeds with closed fists. To sow, we must open our hands. So if you take a moment to close your eyes, we must open our hands. And to open our hands, we must open our minds. Change our beliefs. Pull out the weeds. Open up space. And expand into that greater consciousness that is spirit. It is already here. We're feeling good. And I know that as we move into this greater consciousness with no boundaries of space or time, we expand. So without speaking or thinking or without speaking or touching, just expand your consciousness outward right now, filling up this space, colliding your energy with your neighbor. We are a web of consciousness. We are a web of spirit expressing itself through each and every one of us. We are the garden, the CSL garden. Each one of us a beautiful seed. Each one of us creating the beautiful environment for our own seed to grow and expand so that we can expand and grow together into a beautiful garden. And today we have Drew talking to us about this garden, how to plant the seeds, how to create the environment, how to reap the harvest. And expand this epicenter that we are so that we can grow the garden of the world. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for this place, for this space, for you, for every single person and energy that we create and combine and join into this beautiful garden. I'm so grateful. And I release this prayer into the law of love and spirit, knowing that we are flourishing. And so it is.
We are gathered here today to celebrate and say, love has found a way. With his words we are led, from this moment be said, love has found a way. And love is a gift as precious as the air we breathe. It's love we need. Through his wisdom we should know how to let go of all the things that cause us pain. Through his mercy we will see only love can set us free. Love has found a way, and love is a gift as precious as the air we breathe. It's love we need. It's love, 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 it's love we need. And some may ask why. Some may ask, how can this be? And I will simply answer, it's because of all the love you've given me. So we're gathered here today to celebrate and say, love has found a way, and it's here today.
Thank you. Thank you, Lawrence and Pete. Thank you, Benny, for the music. Yeah, I just have that sense that, I don't know why, but love has found a way. Do you get that sense too? Good. So, already, deep breath in again. Let's go. So this is a glorious garden. That's the ultimate reason we left the tables this way, because you're in rows. You've been planted in rows. Can you see that you're all growing in rows? That's nice, all the way around. So it kind of fits in perfectly. So what are we talking about when we mean that this is a glorious garden? Well, we know that the garden is a metaphor for our existence, and that your mind and your heart, that's your own inner garden that you're growing all the time, cultivating. Your community, your family, your loved ones, the people in our world, that's the global garden that we're building. And they're really inextricably the same. So what does it mean to really grow a garden? We're gonna explore that a little bit and talk about the methods, the intentions, the belief that we have in growing a garden together. I was reading something about gardens that says, I'm kind of new to gardening, and someone suggested that I put horse manure on my strawberries. Well, I'm never doing that again. I'll just stick to whipped cream. So, I have to kind of agree with that, So this sense of what we're doing, if we don't do it intentionally, then things grow by accident. And that's okay sometimes, but if the garden gets overrun and we don't participate, we don't communicate, we don't connect, we have something that we don't really want. I think the quote was, be conscious of what you're saying and doing today. You're planting seeds for the future. Always, in everything. You are planting seeds today that our generations that are following will reap the harvest of. That's what's happening here. And you're fulfilling your purpose of being this gardener for life. So this is spirituality in action, is what this is. When we talk about, people say, we should talk about spirit. This is spirit. This is the whole point of spirit. This is what spirit's pointing its arrow toward all the time, is to become love in community, to connect in authenticity, to share in compassion and pain. We're not a happy, clappy church all the time. It's not like, yay, everything's great, it's all perfect, nothing's wrong here. Oh, la, 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 la. That's not what it's about. It's about connecting authentically in that sense of real caring. When people are in pain, being with them, when people are in joy, connecting with them. And all those times, you're constantly planting and caring for and harvesting those seeds that are growing beautifully around you. Because it takes real love and commitment. And what else do you want to commit to? I read a quote that says, I want to create as much as I consume. And that's a beautiful way to look at it. I want to create as much as I consume. I want to build. I want to make something beautiful. I want to also enjoy it together, which is both together beautifully. It doesn't fight each other. We can do it in harmony, effortlessly. So when we know that we're living in this, what we're doing is becoming conscious. So this is where the garden is really apropos. So who here gardens? Who has a garden and loves gardening? Okay, that's a lot of people. All right. Only two of us play D&D, but lots of people garden. Okay, I'm just saying. Ty, we got to start the gardening club again. All right? Come on, let's do it. Lots of people garden. Well, if you do, you know all the valuable lessons that we're going to be talking about why that's important. And concentrating on how we attend to that garden, is what it's about. So in this center, what we do is we role model from our leadership down conscious action around speech, our deeds, our livelihood, the way we connect. Why is that so important? Because that is all tending the garden. We're conscious of the seeds we want to plant, and I'll talk about that in a second. But the tending of it is very important because that takes much more creativity, energy, and the fulfillment is boundless. If we're not careful and we're reckless or reactive, all those years of growth and work, without consciousness, we can rip it all up by the roots in a matter of minutes. And we have to start all over again. So being very thoughtful, mindfulness, this is where mindfulness really comes into play. How am I speaking? How am I loving? How am I connecting with people? How am I giving of myself and caring for others? All those nurture and feed those plants, those glorious plants, which take time and energy. But when you see them, you could just weep. Barbara Kingsolver's wonderful quote about, I know how women feel when they look at jewelry in an ad and they're crying. That's how I feel with the seed catalog in January. It makes her weep because she can see the essence of life coming about every minute. So we have to be very thoughtful about why we're doing this. We are building a pure and beautiful garden in our hearts and minds, in our community, and in our world. So some things we need to be conscious of is that we become artists and we pay attention. And I want to just mention that, speaking of seeds, look at that tiny little thing. This could be any wonderful, glorious, growing plant nation, tree nation, something gorgeous in our world. And it comes from almost nothing. And yet it's something. In here is all the intelligence and the wisdom and love that you could ever want. When you are planting seeds, you are doing that exact thing. It's like the DNA of spiritual embodiment. You're planting it. You're planting that DNA of love everywhere you go. And this is what all of this stuff originated from. When we hear that term, what is science of mind? Well, we don't love that term as much, and we don't say it as much because it gets confused with like Scientology. No offense if you're a Scientologist, I'm sorry. Tom Cruise, I'm sorry, I apologize. It's good. But we're not that, and that's why we don't want to be confused with that. This is about a sense of purity and understanding the base relation between seed, soil, and manifestation. So that's what our whole symbol, that big giant V that's behind the tree right now, it demonstrates that you have a seed, you have an idea, you have a notion, you have a belief, you have something you want to create, and you plant it in what's called the soil, the law. It's non-judgmental. It'll give you what you put in, right? And that seed, with just proper care and ease, will blossom into something big. Look what this community's blossomed to. A seed was planted a number of years ago about doing something powerful, an epicenter. I say that because you know what I'm doing with that comment? An epicenter for our spiritual movement is I'm planting a seed. I'm planting a seed that's growing in each of us. to realize our power, to realize our place. And every plant is different. And every plant needs a little bit different care. Each of you need something a little different day to day. And we learn to artist way, to be connected to what that plant needs. And that's mindful giving. That's joyful living. So when we plant with that prayer, we put it into the law, we say what we want, we offer a sense of gratitude, and we let it go. We let it grow, right? We let it grow. We trust in the growth. And I'll talk about that in a second. So I read a quote from another gardening metaphor, and a woman said, planting seeds can feel sometimes a little risky and scary, right? It's putting the trust into something bigger than us. It's optimism and faith. It requires letting go. The DNA of love has a wonderful genius to it, that when you just plant it and trust it, it grows. So how do we do this? Let's talk about this for a minute. There are several things that we really want to be conscious of as we're building the garden. And one of them is to water. So what does it look like watering a garden? So in that metaphor, those are literally our tears and our sweat. Those are the fluids that we give to nurture. When we looked at the Advanced Consciousness Group, the class that just finished, one thing they did so beautifully is they all shared these final projects. And it was a beautiful experience. And to a person almost, there were tears being shed every time. That's nurturing. That's being in the river. When you're crying, it's never weak or helpless. It's powerful because you're living into that river of life, that nurturing fluid that we care for. Compassion. In joy and in pain, when we share those tears, that's watering who we are. So be fearless about watering yourself and our garden of each other with your tears, with your care. Sunshine. Well, coming from Sir Hugs-a-Lot, I will tell you that sharing that sunshine is the gentle kindness that we offer all the time. It's the hug, it's the smile, it's the walking with someone, it's the appreciative joy that we offer. And so right now around us, let's revel in the sunshine, the sacred sunshine of sharing that authentic, beautiful love. And with one another, just offer a smile, a warmth, a hello, a good to see you, and watch how the sunshine spreads to your very soul. So let's take a second and just spread the sunshine amongst ourselves. Hey. Dude.
We're pretty good at this, you know that?
Huh?
We're pretty good at this, you know that?
I do my best. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Good to see you, Janine. Lots of love to you.
Morning.
Great to see you, friend.
Yeah, hey Drew. Always good to see you.
Lots of love to you, man.
You know, something really cool happened last week. Well, a couple weeks ago when I attended here, and I had to do a mediation hearing for a legal matter.
Mm-hmm.
Done.
All right, I'm going to say that. Can I share that? All right, let's come back. Let's come back. All right, let's come back. Let's come back. Come back, come back. Come back. I just saw someone coming out of their services. She's like, is it over? Did I miss something? What's going on there? Welcome to the Spirit Cafe. All right. All right, everyone, take a deep breath in and let it out. What do you feel right now? Do you sense that energy? Do you feel that love? That's the good, that's photosynthesis. That's what's happening right now. You're having lovosynthesis. You're feeling that. It's feeding you, right? And that's what's beautiful about this whole thing is we get that sense of feeling the energy. So the tears, we're sharing, that's watering the earth, that's watering our plants, that's giving them nourishment. And it has to be in balance with the sun, the sunshine, that which we care for. We can't forget that. To ourselves, the kindness to ourselves, the compassion to ourselves, that's what's important here too. We talk about these things as if we're just giving them, but we're also receiving them and we're also giving them to ourselves constantly. You know, the other day, I did something in a meeting that wasn't so great, wasn't very proud of. I didn't speak as clearly as I wanted to, and I hurt somebody's feelings, and I went back and I apologized. And then I found myself not giving myself sunshine. I let dark clouds come over, and I started to doubt. It's like, what a dumb thing to do. Why would you do that? You know better. And I stopped, and I stopped, and I stopped. And I said, how would I talk to a good friend right here? And I would say, you did your very best. You went and apologized and owned it, and that may have been more important because you got to reconnect with that person even more strongly than ever. And I talked to myself kindly and I said, good job, well done. And I cried. Because when do you talk to yourself like that? When do you give yourself the grace and the goodness to say, I've done my best and I love you? Well, that's important, and that's not selfish at all. That's altruistic. And why? Because when I do that for me, then the next person I meet is going to get that same thing. That sense of forgiveness and kindness and lack of judgment, right? So that's important to do as well. So, all right, here's the next one. Fertilize. Right? Boy, are there some crappy things that happen. Right? There's some tough, I know personally, I've shared with many of you, for newer people, I've had a brain tumor taken out, and I have right side facial paralysis, and I sometimes drool, and my wife has to wipe my mouth off a little bit occasionally, and that's okay. But it was the richest nutrient for this plant that I could possibly have. That fertilizer is the essence of life. It may not smell like daffodils and Sunday dinner, but it sure is good for your soul. Every hardship you've gone through is fertilizer for your beautiful spiritual growth. Guaranteed. So we want to fertilize these plants. We want to give them a sense of something beautiful, right? Something beautiful that's also difficult. So when you do, you have rich soil to grow in. So don't doubt what happens to you. It's divinely given to you as a gift. And I can talk about that with absolute faith, what we call absolute faith. I know it. That's a fact. Nothing is here to beat you down. It's all here to give you something to grow you into a beautiful spiritual being. Okay, trust. Trust is that sense of not having to go around and fret about the roots or worry about them or freak out about them or, oh my God, is it growing? What am I doing? Then dig it up and plant it again. That doesn't help it, right? Is it growing? Are you growing? Well, you're going to kill it that way. So trust is important. And trust in the natural process of things. So grape growers. And I've shared this metaphor a little bit with some of you, but let's hear it together again. Grapes. What makes grapes amazing? So vintners know that if they don't give anything to the vine, what happens? It's going to die, okay? So we don't want to ignore and walk away from. But we also don't want to overfeed and overwater, right? Because if a vine gets too much of the water and too much of a good thing, what happens is the roots become very lazy and shallow and weak, and the grape becomes flavorless and mushy. It's no good to eat. Now, that would be counterintuitive. You think, give it everything, give it everything. But what we need is the balance and the contrast. That's trust. So a vintner starves the vine half the time and feeds the vine half the time. And guess what it does? It does a model for what we can do every single day, which is it digs its roots deep into the earth. And it becomes incredibly strong. And down there, it finds nutrients that it can't find at the surface. Many of you going through classes and spiritual journeys know about deepening your spirit. Deepening your soul. That's spirituality. That's it right there. You're digging, you're finding out, you're learning, you're growing. And it pulls them up and it makes a grape that is power-packed, flavorful, and amazing. And that's how they do it. And that's how we do it. We trust. We trust in that process. Speak love. Speak love. We've seen studies and people that have had plants and they talk to the plant and they share with the plant and the plant grows more. I did it in 6th grade. I was like, I'm going to do the plant study, which every 6th grader in science project did. But I did it and I ignored one plant, put it in another room, same sunshine, same water, same everything. And with this plant, I talk to it, share with it. And there's all kind of theories why. It might be the carbon dioxide that you're giving to it. It might be the vibrational energy that the plant responds to. It doesn't matter. Same. That plant outgrew the other by twice the size. So speaking that sense of love, connecting with that sense of love. There's something we do here which is really important, and it's called priming for positive. So in a lot of our meetings, and this is something you might want to consider doing too, we don't immediately talk about what's wrong and what the problem is, what we're afraid of, and we don't like, which is our sense to often do. We have negative emotions like Velcro and positive emotions like Teflon. They slide off. We want to reverse that process. And we want the positive be like that Velcro. And the negative is a little more like Teflon. So when we prime for positive, what we do is we say what's going well first. Where are we winning? What's working well? How's this good? And then we get to the other part, which is how can we strengthen, how we get better? And did you know that people who prime for positive, all right, let's all send love to that ambulance real quick that just went by. They're part of our garden. Okay, and the first responders. Beautiful. Thank you. Okay. When you prime for positive, they had twins go in for job interviews. You ready? Exact same interview, same credentials, looked exactly the same. One twin led the interview with strengths, what they're doing well, how they're achieving, and then eased in the second part with areas they want to grow in. The other twin led with deficits, what they're doing wrong, and then had strengths on the back end. The first twin that led with the positive got hired 80% of the time. The second twin, only 20%. Because people respond like that, speaking love to grow. So when they heard that, they wanted to grow. So think about that next time you approach anyone with a tough conversation or something difficult, lead with the positive. Hey, I love you. And this is important. And why we want to talk about this is because we're doing something important together. And this is what I see that's working, and make it authentic. That will double your plant size right there. We also know that that's important because in the sense of different care, I know that CJ and I had an old Japanese maple at our old home, and she did this before I got here, but she said that tree was struggling. And she went out and she purposely cut off one of the big branches that was having difficulty, let it go, realizing you need that kind of care and healing. And suddenly, it went from struggling to thriving. That tree took over our yard. It was amazing. It was amazing what she did to it. That's artistry. That's gardening and caring for something. Seeing what needs to be done. Seeing when sometimes there's tough decisions to make. We have to often let go of things, right? To be able to accept what the new growth can be. All right, weeding. We know what weeding is, right? Weeding is addressing certain issues or problems that might come up. This is important. We have to do this. We have to weed and be aware of what we want to not be thinking about. There are often constant, contiguous negative thoughts that may come in. I'm not good, I'm not worthy, I'm not good, I'm not worthy. We want to weed those out. The problem can be that all we do is weed and we don't tend to the plants we want to grow. That's why we connect. When we do that stuff that's connecting, I'm not just doing that out of fun. I mean, it is fun. But I'm doing it because it's purposeful. What you're doing is you're feeding and watering and nurturing the plants in each other. When you do it in balance, it's beautiful. When we don't weed, weeds can take over, noxious weeds, and choke out our garden. When all we do is weed, what do you end up with? A barren landscape. And that's where people often feel depressed or anxious because they're like, there's nothing here. There's nothing growing. It's because you haven't tended to that which you want to grow. You haven't planted the seeds and watered them and nurtured them and give them some sense of love. So weeding. Weeding is really important. So plant care forward, harvest these plants. And in wintertime, we have to slow down a little bit. We heard wintering from Reverend Savannah. It was beautiful. Go inside. things calm down. We might grow some. I know Ty grows kale all winter long, and it's amazing. He does winter kale. So there are plants that you can grow, but there are others that the soil needs to recover. It needs to rest. It needs to be at ease, and we go through the cycle again. So we're going to do that. And then part of it is staying a little wild, right? Like today, having the Spirit Cafe. Is that a little wild? Is that a little different? Sure. Some people love it. Yeah. Some people are like, no, I don't like it. I want to go back. Okay, that's all right. But we got to do something different. We got to try things that are a little bit wild, a little risky. What do you want to do that takes risks in your life right now? You know what you do well. You got that down. What's the new? What's the different? What's the wild? It's a feral side to all of us. There are plants that we have a section in our garden where we just let whatever grows, grows. Be amazed, be astounded. It's a balance. Doesn't all have to be that, but allow some of that wildness to come out. Again, you'll be amazed by that. And cultivate with wonder and awe. I talked to you about my good friend Dodie. She died at 95 years old, and she was really sweet. And I remember walking with her. She was about 92 at the time. We went down to Nisqually River Basin. We were just walking along, and I wanted to know some wisdom from her. And I said, what keeps, because she was driving with the passes and doing all kind of thing in her 90s. It was astounding. I said, what keeps you young? And she said, obviously, exercising and good diet and sleep and all that. But then she said, but the thing that's most important is I'm willing to be astounded. I'm willing to be astounded. When you see what you're growing in that garden, if you're not astounded by what we're building right here, then open your eyes. If you're astounded, then let it thrive within you. That energy is the love that you bring. So we want to cultivate that in wonder and awe. We know this is real. We know this is our purpose for living. We know this is why we have accepted the responsibility and the gift of this precious human birth. And you are owning it. You're becoming that precious, special gardener of love. So to end, I wanted to share that my grandmother, Mary, grew up in Pennsylvania in what they call plain folk, just a simple gardener farmer in poverty, but enough to live and to survive and to care for her family. And she was just 42 when her husband died of complications from pneumonia at age 44. And my father was only 9 at the time. He was a 9-year-old boy. And it was hard. If you can imagine being a single woman raising a family of 5 in central Pennsylvania with no real outlook, what did she have to do? Well, she dug in. She dug in, and Brian knows this because we share the same grandmother. This is why we're cousins. And that makes sense, right? Follow the logic. Well, we're studying on family maps afterwards, so come and join us. No, I'm just kidding. But her commitment to her family, after a period of grieving, she dove into it. And the gardens were really important to them because that's how they grew their food. They had truck patches, what they call them, these gardens. And they lived next to what was called the Hershey Gardens. This is in Hershey, Pennsylvania. These beautiful rose gardens. And she committed to him, and she knew that he needed more insight than she could offer from other men. So she opened up to men of the town, which were a little bit different. But she let him go to play pool and to do things at a young age, which is beautiful because you would think, oh, that's not good, but that was exactly what he needed, to be exposed to other ways of thinking, other methodologies, and other beings. And my father, who passed a number of years ago, was Ben, and he was just an incredible human being. He was just so full of love. And that love that she had strove to plant and grow in him through her efforts, that grew in him, that he strove to plant and nurture in my family, and gave me the phrase that shaped my life, which is love the person in front of you. Love the person in front of you as a way of doing everything. Bottom line. That's the reason that we're all here today doing this right now. You think about the reasons you're here for the same thing. What in your life happened to you? What are your grandparents like, your ancestors that helped you to become open, awake, aware, and willing to escort our human civilization into conscious evolution? That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Absolutely, that's what you're doing every single day. And my grandmother did that through the miracle and methodology of spiritual gardening. She had a favorite song. It was an old hymn. I adjusted the words a little bit to be more in tune with what I think the intention of the song was with us. But I want to read it to you and let you hear it, these words. And then, all right. It's called The Garden. I come to the garden alone, while the dew is still in the roses, and the voice I hear falling on my ear, the one of love, discloses. It speaks, and the sound of its voice is so sweet. The birds hush their singing, and the melody that it gives to me within my heart is ringing. And love walks with me, and love talks with me, and it tells me that I am its own, and the joy we share as we tarry there together, we've always known. Now I'm going to sing it to you. Like I remember her singing it to me, because this is your song as well now, from my grandmother to all of our hearts. I come to the garden alone, while the dew is still on the roses, and the voice I hear falling on my ear, the one of love discloses. It speaks, and the sound of its voice is so sweet, the birds hush their singing, and the melody that it gives to me within my heart is ringing. And love walks with me, and love talks with me, and it tells me that I am its own, and the joy we share as we tarry there together, we've always known. She would sing it to me, and now I sing it for you. So this right now, if you're ever wondering, this place, this is the Garden of Eden. In your heart and mind, that's the Garden of Eden. Tend to it with absolute faith and love, and watch it flourish as you become a master spiritual gardener. I love you, and blessings. Okay. Let's have our greeters come forward, please. And so we share this abundance with the world. And remember, what we want to do is as the plate goes by you or near you, bless it. Bless it. Ken has been talking about this and wanted us to engender it with our blessings of love, okay? So bless the plate, put in your offering, but bless it and continue that song that my grandmother sang. Let her not sing it in vain. Let her sing it for a purpose that we are living out something beautiful on this planet. So let's say our prayer together. Ready? Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. With infinite gratitude, so it is. So we offer abundant gratitude for our gifts and our treasures, and we share them freely with the world. Thank you very much.
So I just invite you all to take another nice deep breath, release it out, and just notice. So much to think about, so much to feel, so much to know. Beautiful message, beautiful music, beautiful energy. We each have an opportunity to heal, even though there is nothing that needs to be healed, but to notice. So we can look within and notice. And I invite you to imagine yourself looking into a mirror right now. And as Drew said, love the one in front of you. Shine your sunshine into that mirror, right into your own soul. Look deeply within, notice, witness. What do you need to hear? What do you need to shift? What belief can be weeded? What thought can be planted? I know that each person is an amazing gardener. And you are gardening with love and trust and faith and nurturing. Your own internal garden. And then we collectively nurture the external garden. And so I invite you to do some gardening this week with love. And I am so grateful for this message, for this community, for this space, for this energy, for spirit. So I release, I let go, and I start planting. And so it is.
Stille Nacht, heilige Nacht, alles schläft, einsam wacht, nur das traute hoch heilige Paar, wo der Knabe im Lachen im Haar. Schlaft in himmlischer Ruhe, schlaft in himmlischer Ruhe. In English. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Second verse. Silent night, holy night, shepherds quake at the sight, to the first. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round young virgin, mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Well, that was beautiful. Thank you.
What does a world that thrives in harmony and works for everyone look like? It looks like celebrating all of it together. So today you heard about Buddhism and you heard Billy's wonderful message about growing and developing, or my message about planting seeds and gardening, and now we hear about another tradition. It's not about the tradition, it's about unifying ourselves in a field of love, because that's what it all really stands for. Pick the language that works best for you and use it to go forth and nurture your own spiritual garden in this world today. So blessings and love to you all. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Amen. Thank you.
Do a little bit of feeling good. Do a little bit of feeling good. The first song we did.
Cafe! Coffee and snacks!
Yeah, just a little bit.
Feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel.